Hey guys, coldbrew here. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a good Sunday. Today, we're going over one of the strongest rares. Well, at least it used to be one of the strongest rares in the game until it got the nerf bat. This rare used to be even better than Cold Heart, even better than all the other enemy max HP champions, but it got a big nerf bat 4 years ago, and since then, it has never gone back to its original state or even close to its original state, and they left that poor little rare nerfed and at the worst condition possible. Why I'm making this video? Well, I have a 5-star awakening on her. I'm on the test server today and I want to showcase her potential right now and how she looked way back in the past and how we can potentially look for maybe an improvement for her in the future. I doubt they'll ever do a rebalancing of rare champions, but if they ever did, this one would be one of the proper candidates for it. So which rare am I talking about? Well, it's the one and only Dark Elf champion, not Cold Heart, but a non-void champion. Steel Bowyer used to be the enemy max HP champion and got a nerf bat 4 years ago. I highly doubt anyone of you guys was playing back then. I wasn't even playing back then. I didn't even know about this rare. I think I might have been playing, but of course I didn't have access to her since she was one of the new rares that was added with each fusion. New rares and new epics were added all the time into the game. I think she was one of the newer rares added. Of course, my memory might be, mistaking me. She has an enemy max HP damage dealing skill on a 7-turn cooldown that attacks all enemies. So an AoE enemy max HP skill that also is based on her attack and of course the enemy's max HP. I have a 5-star awakening on her and I've given her the best gear possible, but until the time I showcase that, let's go and have a look at how she actually was way back 4 years ago and how people were gearing her and how much damage she was doing. So I tried very hard to find videos of this champion over on YouTube's, and the most I found was from Russian YouTubers or Ukrainian YouTubers. I'm not sure where they're from, but anyway, it's from those guys that I found videos, and here she is still buoyant. Like in this video right here, she had under 200% crit damage, about 3000 attack in the video, and about 200 damage. With these stats, still Bowyer was doing about, look at this, 200,000, 175,000, and 200,000 on her A3 skill. Her A3 skill didn't used to be a single target hit. It used to be a triple target hitting attack. So it attacked 3 times doing enemy max HP damage. It sounds insane, and it probably was insane in terms of the damage potential on the brutal clan bots, which we're looking at right now. And she had a lot of potential, and she would have still had a lot of potential even after a mild nerf. But what Raid did is they went ahead and removed the triple hitting attack. They forced it to be a single target AoE attack, and since then nobody has ever bothered with Steel Bowyer since she has lower multipliers than even Armigers. She has a 0.02 multiplier. It used to be ×3, but now it's just a 0.02 multiplier on the enemy's max health. That's how all the enemy max HP damage dealers work. And like a good example of this, it's like how she was doing damage on the Nightmare clan boss. She was doing 4.7 million in this team when poisoners, crazy poisoner champions like Nethril were doing 6 million damage. So the potential was there to be used in all areas of the game, and being a rare, she was accessible even from mystery shards, and it was a huge free-to-play accessible champion. You would be pulling mystery shards or ancient shards just to get her, because she would be a game changer comparing to what we had back then 4 years ago. So that being said, let's just get out of the past and come back to where we are right now, where we are in 2023 with Steel Bowyer still in the game. The nerfed access to her is what we have, and there's no way of going back. They never did anything like a rebalancing. Since then, they never did any, giving back all the resources that players were devoting to this champion because they knew how strong she was. People were getting her to level 60 just to improve their clan boss damage. And similar to whenever nerfs were happening in the game, they never gave us anything back like our gems or our books that we use on champions. And especially on a rare champion, there's not many places that you can use her. So this is my champion. This is my still Bowyer. How she's built right now with the 5-star awakening, 312% crit damage with 6,000 attack, almost 160 speed. That's not really important. And we have Savage and Cruel, the best combination that we can possibly have in terms of damage potential. She's built with the Health Smasher mastery right here, so a lot of damage coming in for our testing, and we'll be testing her in multiple areas, including the clan boss, just to see on how she does right now and if she's really worth all this effort and the gear. Obviously she won't be, but I'm curious on the damage potential in all areas, right? Is she even worth considering, like we do with Armiger? Armiger has a 0.05 multiplier on a 2 cooldown skill, but it's a single target skill that does enemy max HP. So it's very crucial to also understand the difference between AoEs and single target skills. Single target skills always have more damage than the AoEs, but still I think this shouldn't have the cooldown that it has for the damage that it gives, right? It should have been a little bit higher, maybe a 0.06 and a 4-turn cooldown, maybe even a 3-turn cooldown. That might have been too strong. A 4-turn cooldown might have been good for her, or you know, changing something else to make this more accessible to players out there as an alternative to an AoE damage nuke that we have Royal Guard and Husk. We have other champions in there that do the same thing, like Calvalax right now, but none of them really match the power of Royal Guard and Husk. Okay, and I'm not even going to talk about Acrizia because she's in a league of her own and she's not even going to be discussed for the video. So let's go in and showcase her in the dungeons. Let's do like a quick spider run. Although on 20 this is spirit, so we'll have difficulty showing the real damage in case we get a weak hit. We'll still go and run this, put this on a 1x once she gets her turn, and we'll see the potential damage and how much damage we'll do with the maximum damage champions that we have right now. Okay, so everybody is buffing her and she should be ready to do an attack. Let's put this on a 1x speed. This will be an AoE attack. Multiple weak hits will be shown with the white text. So let's go and see. Boom, 320,000. Most of the spiralings are down, but the weak hit was there with 150k. It doesn't crit, so we'll have to go in there again. Let's do this another run and hopefully we'll see a non-weak hit. This is another reason she isn't as strong right now, because of the weak hits that she can do on 20. Way back then there wasn't even dungeons 20, by the way. We only had dungeons 15 as the maximum dungeon that you can do, and look at that, a 1 million crit with all that gear. If I replicate this gear with a 5-star awakening on my Cold Heart would probably do like 5 to even 7 million damage on the enemy boss, because Cold Heart has 5 times the multiplier than this champion does. So you would see, you know, 5 or even 6 million damage depending on the Helm Smasher proc. So it's an insane difference, and I could see some use for her, maybe for the Hydra, which is something we're gonna test in a little bit. But yeah, let's just end the battle, and I'm not even gonna show her probably in the campaign. There's no reason to, but for the sake of testing, since I went ahead and did all the effort on putting the gear on her, the masteries and all that, let's just try her out and see if still Bowyer can show us at least some fun numbers on her own in here. She might actually be useful for the Doom Tower. There's a rare stage that I might be able to use her, but let's see the A3 here. Maybe I should go to 12.6, but anyway, okay, let's see. Boom, 73k. I mean, with all this gear, I couldn't expect anything less. Let's do the A2 here. Boom, that's a double hitting attack. Those weak hits really are messing things up for me. So let's do the A1 again. Wow, is that 31,000 her second hit? Does she do double hit on the A1? I remember she does, yeah, double hit on the A1, double hit on the A2, which also heals insanely. And then we have an AoE attack on the A3, which does the max HP damage. So let's see the A2 here. 60k, yeah, that didn't do a weak hit, so the 1 hit only counted there. Let's do an A1 here, and then I'm gonna wait out for the AoE for the next wave. Okay, let's go into the next wave and see. Boom, let's do the AoE. 77k, 54k. I mean, that's nice, but nothing that I would expect with the lower gear, right? I would give her a lower gear if I would gonna be placing her in anywhere else, and probably the defense numbers would be insane, so my damage numbers would be way lower than it shows right now. So let's go into the clown ball. So on those screenshots that I showed you before, she did like 200k 200k on brutal with under 200% crit damage. Now with 312% plus all of this setup right now with arbiter and Lydia defense down, weaken plus the awakening giving her the hero soul blessing, we do a 287,000 damage on brutal, which is kind of not really what you're gonna expect from an AoE damage nuker with a 5-turn cooldown. This should have been way higher, especially for the cooldown. Like on Nightmare, I wonder what kind of damage we would see on Nightmare. Probably way worse because of the high defense. All right, let's see the A3 in action. 295. Actually, that's not bad. But again, 5-turn cooldown. Pretty insane, considering the cooldown. I would never do this. I would never do the awakening on her. For the next part, I wanted to test her in the Hydra just to see on her potential. I'm not gonna do the full damage testing. I just want to see her with Arbiter and Lydia in there, and then some cooldown reducing champions. I didn't put my Prince Climber in there or my Yumiko. I just want to see, you know, with a more reasonable, you know, damage resetting skills champions, although both void. I mean, there's more chance you get those than a Yumiko, right? So let's see, defense down, weaken. This is normal Hydra. Let's do the A2 here. 160 speed, is that enough for us to do anything? Boom, apothecary boosting. Let's do this, A2. Let's do another boost here. And we're gonna look for the A3, all right? Wow, 2 weak hits possible here. We're at 416,000 damage. Let's see. 100k and 68k. I mean, it's not bad. If you can prolong the fight, it's not bad. If you can prolong the fight, get her to do multiple resets, it is a solid way to get those damage, especially if, you know, through an AoE attack. But again, you are not going to use this kind of gear on her. You would never see this kind of gear on her. You would just rather wait for a Royal Guard or wait for a Husk and just give them the gear and just see insane damage numbers. And usually those champions actually are not even equipped with a Savage or a Cruel set. We give them Relentless set just for the, you know, reducing the cooldown even further and getting the damage numbers up and going. All right, we have the cooldown back up again. In Hydra, it's insane on the amount of cooldowns you can lose because of the fear, so you have to be careful with that, especially if you're using, you know, those high cooldown champions like good example here, like her, still Bowyer. So let's see, without any debuffs on them, what kind of damage are we looking at? 68k, 85k this time around. I mean it's okay, but other damage dealing champions with the same gear would be doing insanely more damage than her. So let's end the battle here to see the recap, and we did 758,000. Not bad, but look at that. Painkeeper did 359k. She has that A2, remember, that does the heal. Lydia 331,000. So it's kind of a disgrace for the gear that I've given her to be even considering her for anything else. So that being said, still Bowyer, definitely not a fan anymore. If I ever want to see a rare champion buffed, I think she would be the one. All right, at least make her comparable to Armiger. This is not a nerf Armiger. If they wanted to nerf Armiger, they would have done it a long time ago. I think they just don't want to touch these champions anymore, and they're just introducing, you know, stronger epics and stronger legendaries added to the game, which, you know, the legendaries can be empowered now. You can you know, awaken them and give them insane, you know, damage through the awakenings, even better than what the rares and epics get. So the game is all about the legendaries in 2023 going forward is what I'm seeing. So, you know, the rares don't really get their time in the spotlight anymore for using them in dungeons, especially the older ones that are not void, which is something that maybe Raid should consider, you know, adding some more uncommons, adding some more rares. Then Who knows? Anyway, guys, this was the video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed and still watching up to this point, yeah, please consider doing so. It will definitely help the channel out. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.